to ESPN. He'll do so once he clears waivers tomorrow, and the Vertical is just reporting it's going to be a one-year deal for the league minimum, as Wade will be paid $2.3 million this season. This update comes to you thanks to TrueCar. With TrueCar, you can find out what other people in your area paid for the same car you're looking for, new or used. Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. An FBI investigation led to the arrest of 4 college basketball assistant coaches on fraud and corruption, as they're being accused of taking bribes in exchange for steering players to financial advisors and shoe companies. Prosecutors say 10 men in all have been charged. The assistants came from Auburn, USC, Oklahoma State, and Arizona. Bryce Harper will be back for the Nationals tonight, returning after missing 6 weeks because of a knee injury. He was supposed to return last night, but missed the game against the Phils because of the flu.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set,
just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Columbia. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back at it once again. 316 Greystone Boulevard. Fast-paced, action-packed. Hurry up and no huddle sports talk programming for you. Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, heard around the world on the iHeart Radio application. Download it today. That app is free. Our thoughts, opinions, and more don't cost you a dime to be a part of the show that shakes the Southland. Lowell, the producer, in the building. Headphoneless right now. Yep, he is. Why, you might say? Well, I'm not sure. His headphones, again, stopped working. So I'm in the midst of trying to fix them while doing the show, which I would argue I've done. Well, I don't think it'd be an argument. I don't think it's an argument at all. It's an actual statement, which I have done this show while fixing headphones probably 4, maybe 5 times, and will attempt to do so again so that the producer extraordinaire can hear what's going on with the program. You want to be a part of the show? Let me tell you how you do it. It's easy. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. The hashtag on Twitter is CST Show, and follow us at Clemson Sports. Without further ado, though, here, a lot going on in the world of college sports, a lot going on in the world of college basketball. He sits across from me from 6 to 8 p.m. weeknights and does a spectacular job with our website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, where I think he is an underappreciated commodity. I may or may not be saying that to butter him up. He is none other than Lowell, the producer. Lowell, what's going on, bud?
Bada boom. Realest champs in the room. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been a busy day, as I think everybody's sort of been following probably this story around college basketball, which brings me to my next point. Dan Wolken will be joining us. A great get here on the show that shakes the Southland. Lowell, the producer, said, Swanee, we need Dan Wolken. I said, Lowell, let's get him. And we lined him up. Dan Wolken will come on at 6:32 to knock it down, to give us the skinny on exactly what's going on, what in the world is happening around college basketball right now. We've often, if you followed college basketball for a while, it will be no surprise to you that there is what would I call it? An undertone of corruptness that goes on in terms of shoe companies, major college coaches, colleges, perhaps even the shoe companies, get this, who are partnered with schools might even come into play, meaning in some circumstances, players may be funneled to schools that are branded with, say, Nike, simply in hopes that when they leave college, they sign a major endorsement deal with Nike. And along the way, those guys who line up these recruits to go to these schools are compensated for it. The players are the ones who are really, what's the word I'm looking for? They're basically being trafficked. Like people traffic children or whatever they call it. I mean, that's essentially what this is. It's, oh, well, here, if you can give us this player, then we'll make sure you get this money. And it's a big, big scandal going on in college sports. Has ties to the state of South Carolina, I will tell you. Has ties to South Carolina University in some respects. Has ties to Clemson University as well. Not really, as I am aware, to current coaching staffs per se, but definitely the situation that went on with Jim Gatto, the head of sports marketing at Adidas, to pay recruits to sign with schools sponsored by Adidas, to funnel that money to their parents and their families, sometimes six figures going to the families of high school recruits. I saw a tweet online that said something to the effect of, oh, what? These guys that are driving Escalades were being paid? Who knew? So, yeah, I've watched this storyline today with great interest, simply because of the fact of the overwhelming amount of pressure that's on the NCAA and on college sports in general. Not to pay players, okay? That's never been something I've been a proponent of. If you follow this program enough, you know that's not something I'm for. I didn't like the new changes that they've made to make sure that players get money, because I think anybody who's spent a little bit of time on campus as an undergrad, I think there is a relationship between the undergrad and the college athlete that is unique and that will be changed significantly, and I think maybe is changing significantly a little bit in terms of these players being compensated while they're at school. I know they're giving up a lot of time, and I know college kids can go out and work, but the majority of these players will have more benefits given to them during their time at the school than any average college student could ever imagine. From tutoring that is free, to meals that are free, to housing and books and clothes and everything. And yet you still have situations like the one down at Florida where 9 players are accused of fraud and stealing credit card information in order to make purchases. But yet, it's still always the money grab, more. When are we going to get more? And I know the schools make a ton of money. And I know the coaches make a ton of money. But I also know this, that without the schools, none of this stuff would exist. And the school, in my opinion, should be as big of a focus as everything else. Now, maybe I'm living in a pipe dream in a world where, the things that I want and maybe desire to be truth are outlandish thoughts. But that's what I would desire. I would desire a day and age where college sports is continued to be what I've known it as, which is amateur athleticism at its finest. And I always feared the day that we lost that would be the day that we'd lose the sport. And in some respects, we've lost that to a degree, but we still have hands out everywhere saying, I need more, I need more. 803-978-1832. But back to these stories and how they're connected to South Carolina and Clemson. Lamont Evans, an associate head coach at Oklahoma State, who is a former South Carolina assistant. And if you're thinking former, like what year, Swanee? Like 15 years ago? No, like a couple of seasons ago, right here in Columbia. Lamont Evans was with the South Carolina Gamecocks. There were 9 others, there were 10 others, I believe, arrested. Other college basketball coaches include Chuck Persons, former NBA star, who is an associate at Auburn University, an associate coach. Emmanuel Book Richardson, an assistant coach at the University of Arizona, and Tony Bland, an associate coach at the University of Southern California. Now, the documents that were released, I believe it's about a 120-page document, doesn't necessarily lay out, as I am aware. I have not read the entire statement, document, whatever you want to call it. But I will tell you that, based on the dates that players committed, based on information like that, you can go back and piece together who these individuals are, even though players were not named directly that were funneled to universities. The way Clemson is tied to this is former Clemson guard Merrill Code. If you want to read it, ClemsonSportsTalk.com is the website. Merrill Code was arrested on charges of fraud and corruption in college basketball today as well. Code, who played ball at Clemson from 1993 to 1997 under Coach Rick Barnes, he helped lead Clemson's Sweet 16 tournament run his senior season. You might remember Merrill Code and Bill Harder. Of course, around that time you would have had Terrell McIntyre, who's currently an assistant coach at Clemson University. You also would have had players like Harold Jameson, Tom Weidman, Andres Jurkunas, and Tony Christie, all on the team back then that made that run to the Sweet 16, where they were beaten and taken out of the NCAA tournament, oddly enough here, by Minnesota and Coach Clem Haskins, who was then caught cheating and ultimately would have to forfeit, I believe, that game to Clemson University, even though the Tigers were knocked out of the NCAAs and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. According to the reports, bribes were paid to assistant and associate basketball coaches to influence student athletes, which allowed agents to get a portion of the millions of dollars that these athletes would eventually make. At a news conference today, U.S. Attorney John H. Kim stated, coaches at some of the nation's top programs taking cash bribes, managers and advisors circling blue-chip prospects like Coyotes, and employees of a global sportswear company funneling cash to families of high school recruits. That's what we're dealing with today in the world of college basketball. The scariest thing about this whole deal, for me, I think, is simply the statement that I heard about college players from a coach who knows the recruiting game all too well, that the majority of the top 100 players that go on to play college basketball, with the AAU situation, the way it's set up in our country now, the majority of these guys already have handlers and people guiding and directing them to where they need to go, or to where these handlers and coaches or friends of their family, or whatever you want to call them, think these players should go, that a large majority of the top 100 players already have these situations surrounding them. And to me, that's scary if I'm Duke today. That's scary, this report, if I'm North Carolina today. Even though Merrill Code, a former Clemson Tiger basketball player, is mentioned and was arrested in connection with his relationship with Adidas and the fact that he worked alongside Jim Gatto, again, the head of sports marketing at Adidas, Clemson's not exactly funneling in top-tier talent. Clemson basketball just doesn't bring in the type players that are traditionally being tabbed by Gatto, Adidas, and others to come to their school. Not only that, but Clemson's not even an Adidas school, by the way. Clemson is a Nike school. So, for those of you that were perhaps connecting the dots to an article we put out this weekend about the fact that Zion Williamson may be closing in on a deal that puts him, or closing in on his decision. I guess deal, not the best choice of words here today. But that Zion Williamson, the number one prep basketball player in the country, might be coming down to Kentucky versus Clemson. And then this news breaks and people start pointing fingers. Oh, there it is. That's what it's about. No, Nike at Clemson. This is Adidas. The other people involved, again, I mentioned Oklahoma State University assistant coach and former South Carolina assistant coach Lamont Evans, Chuck Persons at Auburn University, Emmanuel Book Richardson at Arizona, and Tony Bland, an associate at the University of Southern California, Lowell. Some people say this may be the biggest scandal college basketball has ever faced. We'll have Dan Wolken from the USA Today coming up here on the program in about 17 minutes. Outside of being a former player, I do want to put this out there again. Merrill Code is not affiliated with Clemson University at this time, as we are aware. Lowell, is this the darkest day for college basketball that we've seen in your lifetime?
Well, it depends on how you want to define dark. Because there's a part of me that goes, well, you know, the more you uncover, the quicker you can get some of these guys out of the game. The quicker you can kind of disband some of these, some of these schemes that are going on.
Handlers and AAU.
And look, AAU is where it all starts. That's probably one of the biggest problems in college basketball is AAU. But I mean, it's sad for the game. It makes me sad that these things are going on. And I think we knew things like this were going on, maybe not to this extent, but we knew all about the handlers and things of that nature. But there's a part of me that goes, you know what? This might be a good thing. This might be a good thing for college basketball to get these guys out of the game.
If you are a major power program right now, is this a bigger concern for you than, say, the Clemsons of the world?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you said, if you're Duke, if you're North Carolina, you're Kansas, you're Kentucky, you're Louisville. Louisville really ought to be worried right now. And a lot of rumors flying around about Rick Pitino and about his potential future at Louisville right now. Yeah. If you're a big-time program and you recruit the big-time guys, you're getting the top 100, top 50 players in the country, you should be very worried.
803-978-1832. Can I throw one other open-ended, perhaps, question to you? Could the ties from Lamont Evans, his recruitment of P.J. Dozier and Sendarius Thornwell to Columbia be a potential issue for South Carolina and their NCAA Final Four berth?
Now, see, that's a little more scary than Merrill Code for Clemson because, as we know, Merrill Code right now has no affiliation with Clemson University other than the fact that he played there back in the 90s.
Right.
He's not working for Clemson or anything of that nature. What was his name? Evans?
Lamont.
Lamont Evans. He was on the coaching staff. That's a little more stressful, I think, if you're a South Carolina fan than a Clemson fan worrying about Merrill Code.
Well, the good news is you didn't win the national title. You didn't win the national title. Now, I don't know if there would be sanctions or anything like that. You I guess, hypothetically, you could be stripped of your berth at the
Final Four.
You still got the memories. If that turns out to be the case, and if that turns out to be the case that those players were kind of funneled there in some respects, I just don't know how this would all play out. But I do know from what I was able to read today, according to reports at least, that those two players were indeed mentioned as kind of being a part of this whole thing with Evans during his time in Columbia. So there's that side of it. 803-978-1832. We come back, talk more about this. Stay with us here on Fox Sports Radio.
Our sold-out 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival.
2 nights,
One stage.
over 20 of the
biggest artists on the planet. Celebrated with iHeart Radio fans from around the world for music's holy grail. Our sold-out 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival. Coldplay, Pink, DJ Khaled, Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd, and more.
iHeart Radio.
Catch our iHeartRadio Music Festival TV special Wednesday and Thursday night, October 4th and 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on the CW.
Do you want a pharmacy that treats you like a person and not just a number? Then let Craig and Lori at Southlake Drug show you what a pharmacy should be. Fast, friendly, and professional. Southlake Drug can transfer your prescriptions and take the hassle out of getting your medicine and getting you on your way. Southlake Drug takes all major insurance programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, and state employees, and they provide immunization services, including flu shots with no wait and no appointment. Southlake Drug, 1856 Southlake Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center, 399-7701, or southlakedrug.com.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Get to Nissan of Orangeburg, where this month's featured unbeatable deals include $99 a month on a new 2017 Nissan Versa, or how about $3,000 off MSRP on a 2017 Nissan Sentra. Plus, Nissan of Orangeburg will honor any competitor's mailers. Don't miss these unbeatable deals. Plus, Nissan of Orangeburg will pay your sales tax and honor competitors' mailers. See dealer for details. Nissan of Orangeburg, exit 145A off I-26, or online at nissaноrangeburg.com.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
A record of the delightful piece they're going to play this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, 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 your attention, please. Attention, please. Attention, please.
And now the moment we've been waiting for is here.
I have something to tell you.
K Sarah, Clemson Tiger Nation, Gamecocks, Yellow Jackets, Bulldogs peeking over the fence tomorrow. You know what? Punch up some punch up the beds for me just a little bit. Trying to see what I got here for you. I don't think I have what I want. But I'll go with a little bit of this right now. A little beach music. You better get used to it, because the show that shakes the South playing Clemson Sports Talk. Coming to the Grand Strand. Coming to the Grand Strand tomorrow. We kick it off over there. Let all your Tiger fans over there know. Fox Sports Radio 101.9 at 1050 a.m. 803-978-1832 if you want to be a part of the program. Always great to talk with you. Dan Wolken coming up here on the show in just a few minutes. Of course, Dan works for USA Today. The big story, the arrest of several individuals, including 4 current college coaches, in a scandal that has rocked college basketball. We'll get Dan Wolken's thoughts on it coming up here in just a few minutes. But Tuesdays when Dabo Swinney talks, and, of course, our Sanders Sullivan on the scene, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. The Tuesday takeaways are up and posted. You can go in and hear exactly what Coach Swinney had to say today to the members of the media. On the injury front, Marcus Edmond, we had several people ask us about this last night on social media. Didn't think it would be a good report for Marcus Edmond, and according to Dabo Swinney today, he is not going to be able to go. Trayvon Mullen is in concussion protocol. Dabo Swinney calling it a day-to-day kind of thing. And Mark Fields is out there practicing today. Mark Fields had a little glute injury, as Dabo Swinney stated this past weekend. Said he had a little pull in the glute area. So that's where Clemson is right now in terms of health-wise heading into this matchup of top 12 teams up at Virginia Tech, under the lights, ABC, game day, the atmosphere, the environment, all of that going on up in Blacksburg this weekend. But that's where Clemson is in terms of injuries. Dabo Swinney saying that he's excited about the great opportunity that this Clemson Tiger team will have this weekend going up against Virginia Tech. Again, the Hokies with Justin Fuente in his first season last year managed to navigate and come away with a division championship and took on the Clemson Tigers at the ACC championship game down in Orlando, Florida. So Clemson, Virginia Tech, Swinney saying he's very impressed with Virginia Tech. Bud Foster does a great job with the defense. They're a handful. That's a no-brainer. And he says they don't use their quarterback any differently this year than they did last year. He is a very effective thrower. Again, you want to read everything that Dabo Swinney had to say, head over to ClemsonSportsTalk.com, click on the Tuesday takeaways, and we will keep you updated on that on our website as well, and we'll get back to that in just a little bit. But Jeremy joins us on the line. Jeremy, what's going on, big guy? How are you, man? Jeremy, you with me? No Jeremy. So we'll get back to some of those Tuesday takeaways for you before Dan Wolkin joins us here coming up in a few minutes on Clemson Sports Talk. Dabo Swinney talking about this Clemson Tiger team. He says anytime you can draw from experience, you know what to expect. He said Louisville playing on the road there was a really good experience early in the season. You're leaning on your veteran guys for the mindset. He talked about the fact that there's a certain mindset you have to have when you're there. It's a lot of energy going against you. You have to be mentally tough. Lowell, Clemson will venture in. How valuable do you think, though, that first trip out of Death Valley was for Clemson this season to go up and play in a relatively hostile Louisville environment until, well, let's face it, Clemson kind of put that thing to bed pretty early and at least made Louisville fans pipe down to some degree. But again, a road win and road opportunities are nothing to be laughed at, and Clemson had a big one earlier in this season. And now they'll get their chance again in against another major opponent, a top 12 opponent. The biggest question I have about Virginia Tech, though, still is who they've played. I don't know how much we really know about Virginia Tech just yet. But in fairness, Lowell, when you go back and really, kind of get into it, it's tremendous that Clemson had that road game right now, I think, at Louisville, simply because I don't want to say are road tested. I don't know that that's the word I'm looking for. But you've stepped into the arena, and you've gone one-on-one with an opponent in a night game on the road where really the eyeballs of the country were on you. It's not a whole lot different, in my opinion.
No, yeah. I mean, that was big in terms of confidence and knowing you can go do it. And look, let's be fair here. Clemson's won, 11 straight games on the road, so it's not like all these players, it's like a new experience for them. There's a lot of these guys on the team, Kelly Bryant included, who know what it's like to go be in a road environment. But I think in terms of getting confidence, like Kelly Bryant actually going on the road and playing, that Louisville game was huge. That's a big win, and you executed almost perfectly, offensively and defensively. So it's huge for confidence to be able to know that, all right, yeah, this is going to be a rowdy crowd. This is going to be a crazy environment. We need to be up. We need to be on our A game, but we can go do this.
803-978-1832 is the number. Of course, Dan Wolkin coming up here on Clemson Sports Talk in about 3 minutes. We'll talk to Dan and get his thoughts on the world of college basketball. As the big news that's kind of rocked things here today is, of course, that of the arrest of several coaches collegiately and also a former Clemson Tiger basketball player, Merrill Code, who was tied to this. Code, who was a native of Greenville, South Carolina, apparently very well connected inside the basketball circles, as they, I guess as they say, and now affiliated with this situation that's gone down nationally. Many people calling it the darkest day in the history of college basketball. 803-978-1832. If you want to be a part of the program, great way to do it right there on the phone lines. You can also text us, thanks to our good friends at the Ocean Reef Resort over in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That text line number, 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. That's the Ocean Reef Resort text line. You can hit us up there anytime that you want. And again, our website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. You could sign up for free. You can post for free. There is a premium forum. We've got those prices right now at $49.95 for an entire year. I think I did that math yesterday. That's $4.16 a month. Not only to be a part of our website and our forum and all the inside news that we're going to be putting out for you, and already are, but we're giving it away right now. But for $4, I think it's 16 cents a month, you're kind of back in the program. We'd appreciate you to be a part of it. Head over to ClemsonSportsTalk.com right now. Dan Wolkin when we return.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan, with quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Tonight, the skies will stay mostly clear and the temperatures will drop to around 70. Tomorrow, sunny skies and warm, highs low to mid-90s. For Channel 25, ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer.
As a busy parent, taking your child's temperature shouldn't be as stressful as fighting through traffic. With the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, one gentle scan of the forehead is all it takes. If only the commute were that easy. Pick one up at your local Club Warehouse or other fine retailers.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at ClemsonSportsTalk.com.
Little Snoop Dogg in the background, Lawton Swan in the foreground, the show that shakes the Southland, weeknights here, Fox Sports Radio, iHeart Radio, and, of course, coming to the Grand Strand. 803-978-1832. That's the way you can participate or text us via the Ocean Reef Resort text line, 803-450-0086. Dan Wolken, though, joins us here to talk about the situation up in, well, about everywhere right now. It's all over college football. All over college basketball. Dan, welcome in, man. How are you, buddy?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good, Dan. This whole scandal that's gone on with college basketball today and the FBI and ties back to Merrill Code, a former Clemson Tiger basketball player, ties back to the South Carolina Gamecocks and one of their former assistant coaches, Lamont Evans, active coaches, Adidas. I mean, this is, for me, in terms of college basketball, the biggest thing I've ever had my eyeballs on.
Yeah, and we don't really know how big it is exactly because, you have these 4 people who are assistant coaches at current schools, plus shoe executives, former agents, whatever, who were charged with crimes, but the FBI also uncovered information related to the investigation that delves into other areas of NCAA rule breaking. You've got the possibility that these people are going to flip and try to get themselves out of jail by turning in other people. You've got this open tip line that now is basically the FBI is threatening everybody in college basketball. If you've done these kinds of deals, that we know your playbook. So who knows how big this is going to be.
Well, and in terms of schools, okay, so listen, I'm a Clemson graduate. I put that out there openly. Clemson doesn't have a ton of success in men's basketball. Do you feel like an issue like this is going to be directed at more the blue bloods of college basketball, or would you expect it to fall into the laps of maybe universities that haven't had all that much success as well?
Oh, I don't think anybody is really immune from this because you just don't know how far it reaches. South Carolina is potentially a school that is in the crosshairs with this, but I know they went to the Final Four this year, but they're not exactly a blue blood.
Right.
So I don't think anyone should be pointing fingers or throwing stones because this is kind of the ultimate glass house issue in college sports.
When you look at other schools, North Carolina, Louisville, who their men's basketball teams have already had a track record of issues in recent memory, or at least the allegations of issues. How bad is something like this potentially in terms of those schools? I mean, is it more so, or if somebody's got a fairly clean resume thus far, maybe they don't look nearly as bad as some of these other schools?
Well, I think clearly with Rick Pitino, because of the other issues that they've dealt with at Louisville and that he's been accused of being involved with, he is obviously at risk of not being. I'd be surprised if he is the coach much longer. But obviously, Louisville is, because of the specific nature of that allegation and the situation they've gotten themselves into with the NCAA, I think I'd be very worried if I were them, certainly. But, you just don't know. I mean, Arizona, Book Richardson, who was caught up in this, has been a long-time assistant there, has helped them get a bunch of players. Again, we're just at the beginning of this.
Right.
We're not at the end, so I don't know how to characterize, how much trouble people are in, because I just think everyone is nervous today because potentially, they don't know what they don't know.
Dan Wolken here on Clemson Sports Talk. You can follow him on Twitter at Dan Wolken, of course, national columnist for USA Today Sports with a focus on football and basketball. And, Dan, when I think about, the ramifications of this and what it might change and help, I would say, in terms of college basketball and recruiting, you're a guy that's much closer to that than even I am. your vibe or your feelings now about what could happen moving forward and how we might see this landscape of recruiting, kind of this dirty recruiting, maybe going away. Is that the vibe that you're picking up?
I think that's way too early to say something that bold. Look, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are scared. It's going to make a lot of people nervous. Fundamentally, though, I'm not sure that much changes because you have a system where there's value in players, there's value in for shoe companies, for agents, for coaches in landing the best players in the country. It creates a lot of value for a lot of people, and yet there is no market for those players monetarily in the college system. And so just it's a natural outgrowth of quote amateur athletics that you have these situations where people are going to try to create a market where none exists, and that's why you end up having people seek out payment for various commitments to agents, shoe companies, and colleges. So until that is changed, I'm not sure what fundamentally will be different.
Dan, for fans of schools who perhaps are not Adidas branded schools today, is that something that you can go, oh, all right, well, we're not really involved, or do you expect this to eventually hit the Nikes of the world and other major shoe brands?
Well, I could only say that if you think that Adidas is the only company that's done these kinds of deals, then I think you're being naive. Whether that turns into anything in terms of this investigation, we'll just have to see. But certainly, they got the guy at Adidas who knows how these deals get done and knows who's doing them. So it'll be quite interesting to see, what information he has, because I guarantee you that guy does not want to go to jail.
Dan Wolken again of the USA Today, covering college football and basketball, taking a few minutes out of his evening to be a part of Clemson Sports Talk tonight to give you the latest on the scandal that has rocked the NCAA men's basketball. Man, it is unreal. Dan, thank you so much. Best of luck to you. I know you got a lot to do tonight and a lot to cover, and appreciate you just being a part of the show for a little bit this evening.
Okay.
There he is, Dan Wolken. So, my theory of, well, you're a Nike school, Clemson. maybe that'll help you out. Doesn't sound like Dan thinks that that's going to be all that helpful for Clemson or other schools that are not Adidas branded. Again, this seemingly something that was probably, and no surprise here when I say this, commonplace for all major shoe brands and companies as they've tried to acquire these young, talented players earlier and earlier in their lives in order to benefit off the back end when those players sign a huge shoe deal coming out of college. That's how it works. 803-978-1832. Dan Wolken, who was here on Clemson Sports Talk. If you missed it, we'll have the entire podcast up on our website as well. Stay with us.
iHeart Radio Music Festival.
Our sold-out 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival.
Let's go!
2 nights, 1 stage. Over 20 of the biggest artists on the planet. Celebrated with iHeart Radio fans from around the world for music's holy grail. Our sold-out 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, sponsored by Macy's, Coldplay, Pink, Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd, and more. Catch our iHeart Radio Music Festival TV special Wednesday and Thursday night, October 4th and 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on the CW.
Do you need lodging for your next Tigers game? To get a real game day experience, skip the hotel and stay close to campus in one of Rent Like a Champion's comfortable vacation homes. You can call Rent Like a Champion, a Mark Cuban company featured on ABC Shark Tank, at 855-BIG-GAME to set up your weekend lodging today.
Cottingham Family Dentistry is proud to announce the opening of their new office located at 3722 Devine Street, and they're welcoming new patients. What makes Cottingham Family Dentistry different? It's in the name, family. They will cater to your needs and the dental needs of your children. children. Cottingham Family Dentistry offers same-day crowns, dental implants, cosmetic dentistry, including whitening, veneers, and tooth-colored fillings, and many other dental services. If you're searching for an amazing dental home, call 776-4234 or stop by their new office at 3722 Divine Street and become a part of the family at Cottingham Family Dentistry.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules.
You're listening to Clemson Sports Talk with my dad, Lawton Swan, on Fox Sports Radio 1400 and on the iHeart Radio app.
Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, Lowell the producer. Not my best work ever on an interview. I could break down why, but that would require throwing Lowell under the bus again, as he broke something else. Lowell, could you please tell the people what happened during the Dan Wolken interview, Lowell? Exactly.
You made the headphones worse, and then they broke. Yep. Putting it on you, buddy.
Okay.
You took the shell off.
So, in actuality, what happened was I fixed Lowell's headphones to some degree. Well, I was working on it. Gave them back to him because he wanted to hear Dan Wolken's interview.
I could still only hear out of one ear, for the record.
Let me know when I say something inaccurate.
Could only still hear out of one ear, so I'm not sure what you fixed.
I was trying to get the knot out. Then, we go to Dan. You have 8 feet of cord on this headphone. This is like my home phone when I had a cord on it back in the day. Remember when you walk around the house and you end up tying things up? You probably don't remember a corded phone like that, do you, Lowell? Do you know what I had a kid tell me one time several years ago? You know I'm a former school teacher, Lowell. Do you know what the kid told me one time? He said, I wish our phone had a cord on it so I knew where it was. And I thought to myself,
you were born in the wrong age.
Buddy, you'd have fit in the 1980s. That thing would get all tangled up. Nonetheless, Lowell goes and somehow rips out the cord completely. So now we are completely down. No cord here in studio for his headphones.
I have new headphones, so it's okay.
Dan Wolken. What'd you think of Dan? He thinks...
Well, I didn't get to hear all of it.
Yeah, he thinks Pitino's going to be done.
There's only so much Rick Pitino can survive before something takes him down. I mean, right? There's no way that he can survive like a escort service scandal and
motorcycle accident with a good-looking girl in the back.
Motorcycle accident.
Oh, that's his friend Bobby.
Oh yeah. Although he did have his own girl issues.
Yes, he did.
Back in the day.
Yes, he did.
And now he's got now he's going up against the FBI. Like, how many things can Rick Pitino go through before he gets taken down?
I'm not sure, but what I do know is this: we are at a point where college basketball is in some trouble, you would believe, if they don't right the ship pretty quickly. Just a lot of big players, a lot of big names involved in this deal. And the scary thing, again, and I know I asked Dan, are the bigger programs in more trouble than the little programs? And he said he thinks anybody could be. But I'm just going to be honest with you. The big programs, the big fish in the basketball pond, in my opinion, they're the ones that better be nervous. the most nervous, because I don't think that anybody's directing Joey 3-star to Clemson. Maybe I'm wrong. Listen, if Clemson's cheating at basketball right now, Brad Brownell's got bigger problems than I thought.
Well, yeah, Brad Brownell needs to be out the door because he's not doing it successfully.
Cheat better.
Cheat better, Brad Brownell.
I mean, that's my thing.
If you're going to do it, be good at it.
Don't you think South Carolina fans have to be nervous today? I mean, absolutely. South Carolina, my entire life has been a train wreck in basketball. They've never won an NCAA tournament game until this season. They go to the Final Four, and then all of a sudden, former assistant coach Lamont Evans tied to this situation in his recruitment of P.J. Dozier, a 5-star basketball player. I know his dad played at Columbia. I get it. And Sindarius Thornwell. Hey, can we find this out? Who did those two guys sign with? Are they Adidas? Is Sindarius an Adidas guy? Is PJ? I'll try to find PJ real quick. We've got Jeremy on the line. We'll go to Jeremy, and then we'll do some research while Jeremy's talking. Jeremy, what's going on, buddy? I got nothing. You hear him? I got nothing on Jeremy. All right.
I just talked to him. So, Jeremy, fix your phone.
Yeah, Jeremy, pay your bill. Get a burner phone like these agents and all these guys use. Let's see. P.J. Dozier signed with the Mavericks. I don't see anything specifically about Dozier and Adidas offhand, but and again, I guess those handlers could be from anywhere, but the ties are to Lamont Evans, former South Carolina assistant. 803-978-1832. If you want to get in, you can. I'm not sure what's going on with Jeremy. Appreciate him, though, for giving it a shot a couple of times to be a part of Clemson Sports Talk tonight. Again, former Clemson Tiger basketball player. This is the biggest news of the day. Merrill Code. He was in school with me back in Clemson. 1993 to 1997 under then coach Rick Barnes was one of the individuals arrested today in the FBI's investigation. That's the other thing. Some people talk about the NCAA. This is not the NCAA. This is the Federal Bureau of Investigations diving into intercollegiate athletics to get in and dig in on the dirtiness that's going on, or that has gone on, in college basketball recruiting. A lot of people will say today, well, we've kind of always known, and maybe we did know that there's been something, but I don't know that people have thought. Remember when the issue came out with Cam Newton? And it was $180,000. Remember, $180,000. And people were like, oh, my goodness. Cam Newton, $180,000. And everybody said, oh, they put it in the offering jar at his dad's church, his dad Cecil's church. And then Newton was suspended, and then he wasn't, and so on and so forth. Well, think about college basketball. And think about players specifically who are big-time elite college basketball stars. And now imagine that this is going on for multiple college basketball stars. And I'm not saying that's all you need to know, but to some degree, that's all you need to know. I mean, we're talking about major universities, lots of players, possibly even Nike and Adidas who are involved in this thing. This is a scandal that goes way, way up in terms of the financial numbers. I think if you're a college football coach, you have to be a little bit worried. The difference being with college football coaches, they know players have to come to school and play. The money grab of agents is not nearly what it is at the high school level because the agents are trying to get in as early and as often with these players and their families because of the era of the one and done. Now, the real question becomes, would this really be an issue if the one and done didn't exist? If players that were in high school just had the right to go pro and a guy didn't want to go play collegiately, would there be a problem if a high school kid was getting paid from Adidas that said, look, I'm not going to play in college. I'm turning pro. Would we be talking about arrests today if the system didn't put in place players having to go to college for a year? I don't know. Would there still be an extensive amount of value? Because if it's the top 10 or 15 kids, and some people say the top 100 have these agents and handlers, how would that change things if the majority of these guys did not have to go play a year of college? Would these issues be avoided? Hour number 2, a whole lot more of the show that shakes the Southland, plus Michael Felder from the Bleacher Report. We'll step in the bleachers with him right after this.
This is Dave, and we're back on Pit Stop Radio. Listen to what our customers say about their pit stop.
I work with my dad. We do commercial maintenance. I come in Pit Stop every day. Pit Stop has great prices on fountain drinks, 99 cents for 32 ounces. We like to hit the pit stop before we head to the beach, get ice, drinks, snacks. I'm a basketball player. Been playing ever since I was 3, so I've been playing for 22 years now. I'm the trifecta queen of Chapin, definitely.
Want convenience without compromise?
Don't stop till you're at Pit Stop.
Listen to what Jeff says about Andro 400.
This product is so much better than even some of the advertisements. It's changed every aspect of my life. I was a 40 waist, and with the Andro 400, I'm down to 36. I'm 54 years old, and people have said to me that I look better than I ever have, and that I look like I'm in my early 40s. Hands down, I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm telling you, it's the Andro. People immediately notice the burst of energy, my skin, my energy, plus the weight loss, the toning of the body, and the increased strength and endurance that I have in the gym. Where I was and where I am now, night and day. And Andro 400 has made the difference. My customers, my friends, my family, everybody's noticing the difference.
Guys, if you want to lose belly fat, gain energy, strength, and muscle, and look and feel years younger like Jeff, try Andro 400, the safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435. andro400.com.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
From the E.F. Martin Heating and Air Studios, this is Fox Sports Radio 1400. WCOS Columbia. Available anywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app.
Fox Sports Trending now.
Dwayne Wade is going to be a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. The news is first reported by ESPN earlier today, and now the Vertical says it's a one-year deal for Wade worth $2.3 million. With TrueCar, you can find out what other people in your area paid for the same car you're looking for, new or used. Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. It was earlier today that we found out an FBI investigation led to the arrest of 4 college basketball assistant coaches. They face charges of fraud and corruption and are being accused of taking bribes in exchange for steering players to financial advisors and shoe companies. Prosecutors say 10 men in all have been charged. Basketball agency ASM Sports, run by agent Andy Miller, was raided today by federal investigators as part of their investigation into college basketball. In baseball, Red Sox outfielder Mookie Betts had a CT scan on his wrist, came back clean, but remains day-to-day with the injury. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set, just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's prime time right here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lawton Swan, Lowell, the producer. And, of course, Michael Felder from the Bleacher Report joining us here this evening. Michael, my man, back in the building, getting things done, heading into week 5 of the college football season. And not to mention Clemson sitting there with it felt like a comfort behind victory, but a late victory against Boston College. And they'll head up to Blacksburg for another top 12 showdown this weekend. Michael, how you been, buddy?
I've been fantastic. How are you doing?
Man, I'm good. You know, listen, when you get to talk about the Clemson Tigers right now, it's a lot of fun. Even when they have a game off, they somehow come away where if anybody just picked up the newspaper or, checked online or whatever, they go, well, Clemson just did what Clemson does. They beat people down. But the reality was, with about 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I think the rear ends in Tiger Town were pretty tight, if you know what I mean.
They should have been. I think that what we saw is Clemson, this is a run-first offense. And the defense, you can count on. The defense is going to play for you every single weekend. You don't know what you're going to get always out of the passing game or how things are going to work out. I think this team recognizes, and they're learning that if we need something big, we need to run the football, whether it's Kelly Bryant or it's Travis Etienne. They know they have to run the football to make that big play happen as they still try to work over the course of the game to stretch the field.
You mentioned Etienne there, and I can't help but think of what he's done in his short period of time at Clemson. 3 50-plus yard runs, 2 of which have gone for touchdowns. One of them was the 81-yarder against Louisville last weekend or 2 weekends ago now. And just how explosive this kid is. And you're as good as anybody, man. I'm telling you, with covering high school athletics. Is he a guy that you knew could come in and be as impactful as he has been for Clemson?
I thought that I thought Tavian Feaster was going to be this guy. I thought Tavian Feaster was going to be the home run hitter. Give me the ball. I'm going to go 95 yards for the touchdown. And when we're getting that out of Etienne, and Tavian Feaster's proven to be a little bit more of an every down back. We saw him run over a couple of guys. So I did not know that Etienne had this sort of breakaway speed, this ability to get up and go and run away from everybody else. I thought he was a quality back, a guy that was going to step in, maybe be a little bit more Wayne Gallman than C.J. Spiller, but he's certainly proven that he's got that home run hitting ability.
Well, and when you go back and you watch it, I think the thing that's most impressive to me, and this is where he's more like C.J., I think, than anybody I've seen, it's 2 steps, and he's at speed. I mean, It's 2 steps. And when you've got that, it's such a weapon because you can take hits, absorb them, and then you're still running away from guys in the secondary who are trying to track you down. We got Michael Felder. You can follow him on Twitter @InTheBleachers, joining us here on Clemson Sports Talk tonight. And, Michael, when I look at Clemson, there's another big name that doesn't perhaps get the recognition that he deserves nationally, but the ACC put out a video about the big cat. They're calling him Dexter Lawrence. Here's a kid who's just a big space eater. He may not have the best numbers, but when you go back and watch the film, you can't help but recognize the impact that he has on these games for Clemson. When you talk about this kid, though, specifically and what you see, what's he been doing lately that's made him continue to be as successful as he's been?
Well, it starts with what he's been doing since. I mean, okay, I'm going to give everyone a brief history of me watching Dexter Lawrence, and it starts with seeing him in Charlotte in I believe 2015, spring of 2015. I saw him in Charlotte, and he was bigger, he was faster, he was stronger than everyone, but he didn't seem motivated. Got his invite to the opening, and I was like, we'll see if he's motivated to do that. I saw Tim Settle, who's now at Virginia Tech, and I was like, Tim Settle didn't seem motivated. We'll see if this guy goes out here and gets his behind whipped. Dexter Lawrence got out there, and he was playing against the best players, and there was a light bulb that went on that was like, okay, now this is the time for me to shine. And he shone his light over everybody. Kid came out, and he wrecked shop. And then you see him get to Clemson. What do you see? Fast get off. You see great hand placement. You see him play with leverage. You see him give max effort every single play. He did it in 2016. He's doing it in 2017. He is special. I think with him and Ed Oliver, we have the top two defensive tackles in the entire country, and the scariest part is neither one of those guys are draft eligible right now. And that's no disrespect to Christian Wilkins, who to me is an absolute war daddy for the Clemson Tigers. So I love what he brings to the table. He's got the size to occupy in the middle. He's got the speed off the ball to be a gap shooter, and he's got the strength to occupy two and still beat a double team.
You know, the funny thing, you mentioned Christian Wilkins there and how good he is. He can be overshadowed, and I don't know if that's a pun or, you know, some type of thing I was supposed to learn in English class by Dexter Lawrence. But Wilkins has always had something different just in terms of his leadership. And, you know, I think it's rare in modern college sports that your leader is a defensive guy. It's typically the Deshaun Watsons of the world. But, you know, I would make the argument that Christian Wilkins is as valuable a leader as Clemson Tiger football has ever had, maybe on the defensive side of the ball in its entire history. And I just think that speaks volumes about the character of the player that Dabo Swinney's bringing in.
Yeah, Christian Wilkins is a guy that gets after it. I remember watching him in high school out of Connecticut and thinking, okay, he's a good player and he does all these things really well. Let's see how it translates to playing against other really good players, because his technique is flawless. And then you see him use that same flawless technique against quality players, and that's when his athleticism shines through. He's a complete package. This is a guy, to me, that's a first-round pick in this coming draft, because there's no reason for him to go back to school for another year. No disrespect to Clemson fans, but this is a guy that should leave when he gets an opportunity, because he is that good. He fits into the Aaron Donald model of guys that have great technique, great understanding, great quickness, great awareness of the game, and that leadership that you mentioned. I think it comes into play. You don't see it very often out of a defensive lineman. Defensive linemen have 90% of the defense behind their back. At most, they can turn their head left or right, and they can see the guys next to them, but they never see the linebackers. They never see the safeties. So it means a lot when a defensive lineman is the heart and soul of your football team, and that's what you have with Christian Wilkins. I think that speaks to how much people respect what he does. It speaks to his understanding of where he fits on this team, and it speaks to his understanding of how the defense works together. He recognizes that he can play defensive end, he can play a 3, he can play a 1, he can play a 0, he can play a 5. He knows where he can fit in on this defense and how those pieces work together, and I think that elevates what he means on the field and what he means to those other players.
Michael Felder from the Bleacher Report at In the Bleachers. By the way, Michael, can we call this segment In the Bleachers with Michael Felder? Would that be all right?
All day, man.
There we go. I like it. In the Bleachers with Michael Felder here on Clemson Sports. Okay, so let's talk about Clemson's opponent this weekend, Justin Fuente. I hear a lot of people talking about just how good he is and, you know, kind of feeling like he might be in that rung right under the Dabo Sweeneys and the Jimbo Fishers, like he's the next up-and-coming guy. He got Virginia Tech to the ACC Championship game last season, changing quarterback, of course, with Josh Jackson coming in this year. Your thoughts on Justin Fuente's Virginia Tech club? They haven't played a lot of people just yet, so I don't know what we know about them, but from what you've seen, how do you think this team is?
Well, I tell you what, I think Fuente's a heck of a coach. This is a guy that he recognized, like he is, to me, he's where Dabo was in 2009, maybe 2010, recognizing that I know I want to get to this next level. I got to figure out how I'm going to get there. And when you watch him, he's got a quarterback that he likes in Josh Jackson. Jackson's going to move, and I think the hardest part for Jackson is going to be playing against his defensive line for Clemson. And the big The big plus for Jackson is he's playing at home. But I tell you what, home or away, playing in that atmosphere, those moments are going to get big, and how he responds to those big moments, that's going to be huge. But at the same time, Kelly Bryant also has to respond to those moments, and we haven't seen him in that spot. And listen, you can talk all you want about Louisville. I've been to Louisville, and I've been to Blacksburg. And there ain't no place that's like Blacksburg. I can tell you that right now. That place is nuts. It is insane, crazy. The good thing is this is a September-October game.
Yeah, September 30th.
October. It's a late September, early October game instead of being a late October, early November game when it's about 30 degrees out there, and they all got on their starter jackets and the camo going on. So this is going to be one of those games where both quarterbacks have to prove themselves. And I tell you what, the big edge for me, for Kelly Bryant, and for this Clemson team certainly is that defensive line that Kelly Bryant has on his football team. I look at Virginia Tech. I love Cam Phillips. I think he is special at the wide receiver spot. He's going to be a handful. He's going to be a nightmare to cover because this guy gets open consistently. And I look at Fuente, and he's going to press the issue. He's going to probe this Clemson defense. And I think the big thing is, he's not a guy that packs it up and packs it in. We saw it in the ACC championship game. He wants to take shots. He wants to find ways to score. He wants to find ways to cause some trouble for the opposition. And I think he's going to continue to do that. I think for him, he's going to press the edge. He's going to see what he can do inside. He's going to see what he can do long. He's going to see what he can work in the intermediate. And I think we're looking at a game. We're looking at a good ball game. This should be the game of the weekend. And honestly, I think Clemson comes away with a win, but it's going to be hard fought. They're going to have to work their behinds off because this Virginia Tech team, they recognize that they are very, very close. They're not there yet, but they know they're close.
Michael, when you look around the Atlantic Coast Conference, of course, Hurricane Irma affecting things for both Miami and Florida State. And Florida State now, because of that, I think probably 0-2. They just didn't get a chance for Justin Blackman to get an opportunity to prepare really for that game. And you know, it's hard when the lights aren't on. And so NC State sneaks out with a win. Florida State could still win the Atlantic Coast Conference, but it sure seems like it's a long way uphill for Jimbo Fisher's guys.
It's long, but it's not as long as it seems. I realize this is a football team. They're 0-2, but they're only 0-1 in the Atlantic. They're only 0-1 in the entire conference. So think about it. Let's say Clemson does trip up against Virginia Tech. Now we're looking at a half-game lead, and that's a Florida State versus Clemson. They get to decide it themselves. Let's say Clemson doesn't lose. Clemson wins. They still get to decide it themselves. And if Florida State beats Louisville, they're still in the driver's seat. So they control their own destiny still. They're still in charge of what they want to do, although, well, control their own destiny is wrong because NC State, if they go undefeated, they're the ones that are going to hold the ticket. But at the end of the day, I look at this, and Florida State, they have a quarterback who is, yes, is he 17? Is he 18? They got a quarterback that's a true freshman, but he throws a pretty deep ball. I mean,
yeah,
we saw why they're excited about him. This kid has unbelievable talent, and the scariest part is he got to school and he weighed 165 pounds, and he's just now up to 189. At some point, he'll weigh over 200 so that he's ready to stand in the pocket and take those hits and deliver those throws. Until then, he's still delivering the ball pretty exceptionally. I think Florida State showed that they've got a lot of talent. They just got to put it together. And then on the other side, I think what we saw is North Carolina State. I think Dave Doran knows he's got to put it out all out on the line.
Yeah.
I think if I'm a Clemson fan, I'm more worried about North Carolina State than Florida State. That's not to say that Florida State doesn't have the talent to beat you, but it does say that North Carolina State recognizes that this is the year you have to put it together because after this year passes, they may not have another team like this for a long time. Think about this team. They got 4 guys on the defensive line that should be the first 2-day picks in the NFL draft. Bradley Chubb is playing lights-out football like he wants to be one of a top 15 NFL draft pick. Contavious Street is phenomenal. Darian Roseborough's phenomenal. They're playing great football on the defensive front. You throw in Jalen Samuel, who I don't know where he's going to get drafted, but I can tell you this right now, there isn't a better weaponized tight end in college football than Jalen Samuel, a guy that can line up at tight end, line up at running back, line up at wide receiver, and make you pay. You saw it on the shovel pass against Florida State. Kid's phenomenal. So they will not have a team like this for a long time, and I think Dave Doran recognizes if I can't win with this team, then I'm going to get fired. And so I think that means he's taking all the chances that he can take. So I think they're the more dangerous team in the ACC Atlantic than Florida State, than Louisville. I think this is the dangerous team. That's the one you need to watch play because NC State's got some weapons, and they recognize that they played it close to the vest against South Carolina. I don't think they're ever going to do that again.
Michael Felder at In the Bleachers. You can follow him on Twitter. Does a fantastic job here every Tuesday. I should say James Blackman, Justin Blackman, of course, former Oklahoma State wide receiver. So, yeah, I recognize that the minute it came out of my mouth. Now, talking about other teams in college football, this past weekend I had a chance to watch Penn State and Iowa. I've seen Southern Cal several times kind of survive. Who right now is your top? Who are your top 4 teams, Michael?
Top 4. I got to go Clemson number 1. I love what Clemson's done, and I don't need to drone on and on about it because we already talked about it.
Right.
Number 2 for me is probably going to be Oklahoma. I know they kind of almost pooped the bed against Baylor, but I think that had a lot more to do with them believing their own press clippings than Baylor actually being good and then them actually being bad. I think they just kind of didn't bring their max effort to the Baylor game. I mean, Baker Mayfield only threw the ball 19 times, so this is a team that certainly is, to me, in the number 2 slot. Number 3, I guess I would put Alabama. You know what? I wouldn't put Alabama. They hadn't done anything that impressed me all season long. So I'm going to go Penn State at number 3, Alabama at 4. Penn State, to me, the way that they rose up against Iowa, an Iowa football team that plays football personally, the way that I love to see football be played. I said this on the radio earlier this week on my show. I said, Iowa's not special. They're not unique. They are an ABC football team, but they know the alphabet better than almost anybody in the sport. These guys are an A to B to C team. They do the specific things it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
And Penn State, with the chips down, found out a way to get a win. And by the way, Saquon Barkley, I don't often give offensive guys credit, but Saquon Barkley might be the best player in the country. I mean, goodness gracious.
Man, there was a play late in that game. I know you're going to remember. He's one-on-one with I think it was a defensive back on the edge, and, man, he just put a shifty move on him and beat him. And I thought, wow, big guys like that aren't supposed to put moves on DBs that way. Michael Felder. Yeah. Michael, man, hey, I appreciate it. Listen, tell everybody, I heard you mention your show. I know you do a lot of stuff with Bleacher Report online. Tell our listeners where they can get more of the good juice from you.
Man, all right, guys. On Mondays I got a long day, but from 10 to noon on IMG via the TuneIn app. You can find me there. I host with Steve Hartzell from 10 to noon, College Sports Now, and then from 2:30 until 3:15, 3:30 if they let me stretch a little bit on Bleacher Report's Facebook page. We do a live show there as well. Obviously, every Tuesday I'm here kicking it with you, man.
Michael Felder from the Bleacher Report. Michael, man, appreciate it. In the Bleachers with Michael Felder here on the show that shakes the Southland. That sounds good, doesn't it, Michael?
It sounds fantastic.
Man, we're rolling with it. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Well, I guess we're not getting out of here, but Michael's getting out of here. Lowell, what you think? Mike Felder says Clemson, number 1. We don't need to discuss it. It's got the Tigers at number 1 and did not have Alabama at number 2.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like the common perception in college football is that Alabama has the best win with that, or it was the best win, that win over Florida State. Obviously, losing DeAndre Francois changed the entire complexion of that whole win for Alabama.
And we are our society is very, what have you done for me lately?
Oh, yeah.
And if Florida State's not winning, people are going, oh, Florida State's not that good.
No, and losing that game to NC State, that really puts a damper on what Alabama has done this season, because outside of that, what have they done? They gave up, 21, 24 points to Colorado State a couple weeks ago?
They beat the mess out of a Vanderbilt team everybody told me was going to beat them.
Yeah.
They weren't going to beat them?
I never bought into any of that.
That wasn't going to?
All you have to do is go look at the recruiting rankings to know that there was no shot for Vanderbilt.
So tired of being lied to, Lowell. So tired of being lied to. 803-978-1832. We shake the Southland in 3. Stay with us.
sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
2 nights.
One stage.
Over 20 of the biggest artists on the planet.
Celebrated with iHeartRadio fans from around the world for music's holy grail. Our sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Coldplay, Pink, DJ Khaled, Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd, and more. Catch our iHeartRadio Music Festival TV special Wednesday and Thursday night, October 4th and 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on the CW.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Stay on top of today's pop culture. Ace and TJ Mornings and today's hit music all day on 104.7 WNOK.
Kane is in the building.
Weeknight, 6 to 8 p.m., Fox Sports Radio, iHeart Radio, Lawton Swan, Lowell, the producer extraordinaire, hanging out with you here. Michael Felder from the Bleacher Report was just with us a few minutes ago. Dude, I always love his interviews. I mean, call me wackadoo if you want, but I love his interviews. Like, has he ever once not shown up? You know who he is? I think he is the Steph Curry of sports radio. He always shows up, man. He's always clutch.
Maybe not the best comparison.
Steph Curry not clutch?
Well, we can run it back to 3-1 lead for the Warriors if we want to.
You know who Michael Felder reminds me of?
Who's that?
LeBron James. He's the LeBron James of sports talk radio. Are you going to shoot that one down too?
Well, the only thing I would say is Michael Felder's still in his prime.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
I mean, the only other place I can go is the Tiger Woods of sports talk radio.
That's no good either.
Is that not what people want anymore? He's the Tiger Woods in this field. Have you read the headlines lately? I don't think he wants that. So, we got the College Sports Corner coming up here in a few minutes on Clemson Sports Talk. Lowell, the producer's doing his work, grinding. I almost said Miami. We go to Myrtle Beach tomorrow. The show that shakes the Southland will be live not only in the Midlands but also over in Myrtle Beach. So it should be a lot of fun and an interesting time for us. Again, lots of news out there today. The biggest, though, the scandal rocking college basketball, and that thing doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. I know Lowell, the producer extraordinaire, has been monitoring things. And, of course, as we do here on our show each and every Tuesday, we kind of start getting into some of the things that were said at Dabo Swinney's press conference earlier today, and again, all of it's up on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. But one of the things he did talk about earlier today that I took away too from Sanders' report over on our website was the fact that, look, man, when you're talking about this Clemson Tiger team right now and who they are, just in terms of the expectations of the fans, Dabo Swinney said, look, man, we're not surprised that we were getting boos from the crowd. He said, I'm never going to not appreciate a win. That's why we celebrate after every win. But the fan base expectations are high right now, Lowell. Highest that I can ever remember. I know they were high in the 1980s too, but I mean, right now, Clemson Tiger fans, Dabo Swinney spoiled you. And it's not even close. It's not even close. Dabo Swinney has absolutely spoiled Clemson Tiger Nation. And when I think about the fact that here you are, not 8 months, 9 months removed from a national championship, and I've got people passing me in the hall wearing their garnet now, saying, I think you guys are going to get back to the championship game again. And this will be the third straight year. The expectations are through the roof, Tiger fans. You know who Dabo Swinney probably has to blame for the people booing? Dabo Swinney. Don't win so much, and they'll just be grouchy. They won't boo. They'll go, well, this is Clemson football that I'm used to. But it is a unique and rarefied air, Lowell. I think that you and I both, I remember the 90s, I mean the 80s enough to say, yeah, I know what it was like when Clemson was always kind of the top dog in college football. You certainly don't. But as a fan now of this team, because you are a fan, we can openly admit that here on the air, right? Do we disguise the fact that you're a fan? Is that not something we do?
I prefer the word enthusiast. Fan means fanatic. We try to be impartial here on Clemson Sports Talk.
Okay, that's fair. But as someone who's impartial, that's impartial for Clemson, I mean, do you find yourself frustrated? The game plan, I know that you said the game plan was vanilla. Did you find yourself frustrated on Saturday to the point of anger?
No. I mean, it was a little concerning that, I kind of felt like at a certain point the coaches were going to have to open it up a little bit just because it's still 7-7 in the fourth quarter. And this is a team on the other side who has D1 athletes just like you do. So at a certain point, I felt like you have to open it up and put some breathing room between the two of you. But I was never, angry and ready to boo or anything like that. And I realized that it was just, they were just going to do what they had to do to get out of Death Valley against Boston College with a win and get ready for Virginia Tech. That's all it was.
Well, in Boston College, I know they're not a great team, but they played a great game, I thought. I thought they had a very good game plan. I felt like, I think if you go back for 3 quarters, they overachieved from what anybody expected. I don't know that it was so much about Clemson being bad as it was about Boston College being better than people thought. And, again, I said this all along. I love Steve Addazio. And to see his guys fight and play with that much heart and effort, you know what I wish I could have done? I should have done this. I should have gone to a Boston College message board, kind of like ClemsonSportsTalk.com, something fan-oriented, and see the reaction of their fans coming out of that game. Even though they got beat 34-7, wouldn't you believe their fan base had to be proud? That their fan base had to feel good?
Well, I think their fans right now in general are just kind of frustrated with the way their football program has gone. So, yeah, I mean, you hung with them for 3 quarters, and it was 7-7 in the fourth quarter. But then there has to be a certain amount of disappointment of, well, dude, we were right here. How do we end up losing by 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns?
Closers closed, man. Closers closed, lol. Isn't that what they say? They say something like that. Closers. Clemson closed the game. I mean, that's what Florida State used to do to Clemson back in the day. You know, you're in it. You think you got a chance. And before you know it, you don't have a chance. 803-978-1832. You don't even have to tell me. I know. Let me guess. It's Jeremy the phone bandit. Jeremy, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man. Yeah, I don't know what was happening, man. I kept getting disconnected or whatever, but
I'll be honest, I thought Lowell was just faking phone calls over there to drive you crazy.
No, because Lowell would say, "Hold on just a second." I'm like, "Okay," and then it was making a weird noise, and then it was nothing. So anyway, about the NCAA deal with the basketball.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, let me do this. I don't want. We got a break coming up. Let me do this. Let's put you on hold. We'll come back and we'll hear from you. How about that, bud?
All right, man.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's put him on hold, Lowell. Try not to. Lowell, don't hang up on him. You've hung up on him twice tonight on purpose because you told me you didn't like him, which I thought was quite rude. I mean, we're going into a new market tomorrow. Going to be on in Myrtle Beach. I don't want our Myrtle Beach listeners to think, oh, these are the rudest guys in radio. His producer just hangs up on people he doesn't like.
Oh, I like everybody in Myrtle Beach. That won't happen.
So Jeremy, if you moved to Myrtle Beach, Lowell wouldn't hang up on you. All right, we're going to come back. We'll hear from Jeremy here on the show that shakes the Southland.
iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. And now, with football season in full swing, let's be honest, most of your week is focused on your fantasy team or teams. No reason to leave the iHeartRadio app, because now we have the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. 24/7 interactive fantasy talk and advice so you can dominate your league. Get your fantasy football fix right on the app. Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
iHeartRadio. At OPEX Columbia, we aim to inspire, empower, and challenge individuals to reach their highest potential. We take this mission very seriously and sincerely desire to help people achieve the goals they set out for themselves. OPEX Columbia is where you will excel no matter what your goal, whether that be health and wellness, body composition, or being a competitive athlete. We are conveniently located downtown across from the South Carolina Baseball Stadium. Contact us at opexcolumbia.com and mention this ad to receive 10% off your 3-part assessment.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Tonight, the skies will stay mostly clear and the temperatures will drop to around 70. Tomorrow, sunny skies and warm, highs low to mid-90s. For Channel 25, ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
2017 model sell down at Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia. Get $1,000 trade-in loyalty cash on new 2017 and 2018 Tundras and Tacomas. Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Excludes TPO and includes $398 closing fee, must finance through SCTF and requires truck trade-in.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeart Radio home for the 2016 college football national champion, Clemson Tigers.
Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, Lowell, the headphone wrecker extraordinaire.
You're insane. You're an insane human being.
What do you mean, Lowell? I grind for the people.
Just let the headphones die, man. They're done. They had a good run. They had a good run.
It was a good run.
It was a good run for the headphones. But all good things must come to an end.
Do I need to get you some new headphones, Lowell, as an anniversary gift?
I'll go get my own headphones and bring them in.
Yeah, you can't hide money, Lowell. I always tell you that. You cannot hide money.
Yeah, I'm rolling in it.
Man. Would you mind? Do you want to buy a spot on the show? We've got some ads for sale.
Can it just be like me talking?
We're trying to get listeners, not lose them. All right, so Lowell, the producer here, doing a good job, man. We'll have a Michael Felder article up in just a little bit on Clemson Sports Talk tonight. But Jeremy allegedly has been on hold through the break. We'll see if it actually happened. Jeremy, sorry about that, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, I'm here. First off, I've got some strategy for the Gamecocks. If the NCAA or whatever comes to them about possible sanctions, they could turn to Will Muschamp and let him be the fall guy, considering they have nothing to take away from them, from the football program. So, I mean, he could say, I did it, and then there's really nothing, just take whatever you want from us, and so they really have. But anyway, I had to do that. But
ouch.
I mainly wanted to talk about Clemson's performance, or
lack
not
thereof.
their great performances, lack thereof. I know. I didn't think defensively they played great. There was something missing, man, and it was like that mojo. I think they went out there offensively, and yes, it was so lackluster, and it was just like, we're going to do what we have to do to get this thing over with, and it didn't work out that way because, well, for one, BC's punter was pinning them at the 5 or 8 every time, and
how good was that kid?
Oh my gosh, he was the player of the game for them. He was. If they had a little bit of offense, now that running back, I think the Norris kid was his name, number 2. That kid, he's going to be good. He ran really, really hard. He was. So I think, and the defense deserves, and the whole team and coaching staff deserves a mulligan every once in a while. And like you said a while ago, they had a bad game and they won by 27. But I don't know. I think it was just the whole team was in a funk offensively, and even Trayvon Mullen. There was a couple of times where he was lost. He got beat and wasn't getting his head around, and they just. I think they thought they were just going to walk out there and just because they had the tiger paw on their helmet, we're just going to crush BC. And honestly, I think it's the best thing that happened to them because that now they're going to be able to refocus. And I think they're going to do to Virginia Tech not quite what they did to Louisville, but it's going to be – it'll be similar. It'll be more around the 14, 15-point win, I believe. I just – watching Vautech, I watched the Old Dominion replay, and I know it's Old Dominion. They just – I don't know. And Fuente's a great coach, but again, to piggyback what Felder said a while ago, he's he just doesn't quite have it yet. He's got the plan, but he just doesn't quite have the horses to beat a Clemson yet. But that's all I got, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate the phone call, Jeremy. Yeah, I think you're right, and I think Michael's right, too. Virginia Tech is trying to get back to, where Frank Beamer had them, really, which was competitive with the big boys in college football. And their fans, much like Clemson Tiger fans in the 80s, they expect it. I mean, they do. They expect it, and rightfully so. They've been good for a long time. And Fuente's a heck of a coach. The thing I really appreciate maybe more about Virginia Tech than just about anybody in college football, what a fantastic transition from your previous head coach to your new head coach. I mean, think about that, Lowell. Just the transition. It's been perfect. They're honoring Beamer this year with his old jersey number badge, and of course they have a player that wears the jersey, and just a whole lot of really neat stuff that they've done there. And when you think about a lot of coaching transitions, it just doesn't go well. It just doesn't go well. You look at Bowden and Jimbo Fisher. Didn't go as good as it probably should have. Sometimes it's because the coach wants to hold on. Sometimes it's because the young and up-and-coming assistant or the coach in waiting wants to take over. In the scenario with Fisher at Florida State, it was because they were going to have to pay Fisher. You might remember. I forget if it was $5 million and he was going to be an assistant, or they could part ways with Coach Bowden and put Fisher in the hot seat, and that's what they chose to do. Not fire him, but kind of push him out the door gently. 803-978-1832. Lowell, wouldn't you agree, though, the Fuente-Beamer transition was about as smooth as you could imagine?
Yeah, I'll tell you another one that's been relatively smooth, too, and that's Bob Stoops and Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. I mean, it wasn't anything, there's nothing ugly that happened with Bob Stoops. He just decided he was done. They already have their next coach on staff. He gets elevated to the position, and they're a top 5 program right now.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I mean, not that I forgot that one. That's obviously a new one, and I guess we could make the argument that we just don't know if it's going to be as good as maybe people think. I'll say this. It was interesting to hear Michael Felder say Oklahoma was the second best team in the country. I think we can all agree to that fact. That was a unique situation to hear. 803-978-1832. That's the number. If you'd like to be a part of the program, we would absolutely love to have you. Always a great time here on Clemson Sports Talk, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, our new website. Lowell, can we do the college sports corner in just a little bit?
Sure.
And when we come back, we can do the college sports corner?
I support that.
Okay, so that's the plan here. We're going to do the college sports corner when we return on the show that shakes the Southland. He's Lowell, the producer. I'm Lawton Swan. Stay with us.
Sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
2 nights.
1 stage.
Over 20 of the biggest artists on the planet.
Celebrated with iHeartRadio fans from around the world for music's holy grail. Our sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Coldplay, Pink, DJ Khaled, Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd, and more. Catch our iHeartRadio Music Festival TV special Wednesday and Thursday night, October 4th and 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on the CW.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
Have you been thinking about sprucing up your yard, debating between pine straw or mulch? Call my friends at Carolina Turfgrass to get your yard looking as great as mine right now. I chose to go with pine straw this year, and it looks incredible. Carolina Turfgrass is conveniently located at 5400 Augusta Road in Lexington, and if you need your order delivered, they can take care of that too. In addition, Carolina Turfgrass carries a wide variety of turfs, including Centipede and Bermuda. For unmatched quality and service, call Carolina Turfgrass, 446-6525. Look for Carolina Turfgrass on Highway 1 in Lexington.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules.
Follow Clemson Sports Talk on Twitter at Clemson Sports. Now more of Clemson Sports Talk. Take it away, Dad.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Weeknights, 6 to 8 p.m., Fox Sports Radio, iHeart Radio, Lawton Swan, Lowell the producer. Final night only in the Midlands. We'll be in the Grand Strand tomorrow on Fox Sports Radio 101.9 at 10:50 a.m. If you know some people over there, you know some potential sponsors, friends, fellow Tigers, all of the above, Lawton at ClemsonSportsTalk.com. That's the email address. Help me find some additional sponsors over there because we got to have them in that market. 803-978-1832. Lowell. What's going on with the phone lines, man? Craziness, huh?
Yeah, I just went over to try to reset them, so hopefully they will be good to go now.
All right, well, you know what? If they get good to go, we'll take calls at the end, but let's go diving into the College Sports Corner.
Clemson Sports Talk presents the College Sports Corner, brought to you by Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. Just a short drive down I-26 at exit 145A in Orangeburg. Now, CST reporter Lawton Swan.
All right, Mr. Producer Extraordinaire, the College Sports Corner, one of our favorite segments here, brought to you by our friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. What do you have for us tonight in the College Sports Corner?
Well, in Maryland's season opening game against Texas, their starting quarterback Tyrell Pigrome tore his ACL and was lost for the year. Against UCF, freshman Kasem Hill, who was the backup and who had been having a phenomenal year, also tore his ACL and is now also out for the year. This is a little reminiscent of, I believe it was 2012 when Maryland lost like 4 quarterbacks to injury and ran a linebacker out to play quarterback against Clemson.
I remember he dropped back for his first pass. It didn't go so well. I think Clemson scooped and scored that. Somebody did. Yeah, that's. I mean, I feel bad for the kids. Obviously, I never feel bad for Maryland. They bailed out on their conference, in my opinion. So, crab cakes in football, Maryland. Go do it. I feel bad for the kids, though.
Well, Nebraska, who earlier last week fired Sean Eichhorst as athletic director, has named Dave Remington as their interim athletic director. So, interesting move.
Former
legendary
offensive
center taking over as interim AD for Nebraska.
Was he already involved in the program? I hadn't heard this. This is pretty cool news. Of course, the Remington Award named after him.
Remington said he's not a candidate for the permanent AD job, but I have a feeling that they may want him in that position.
Well, I mean, he's a name. I mean, listen, when you got a national award named after you, I wonder, what did they call the Remington Award before it was the Remington Award? That'd be a trivia question for you. Just the best, what was it, the best center in college football award? Because the rest of those awards are like the Biletnikoff and the Heisman. They're like old guys. The Remington, still fairly young.
I can look it up and tell you.
Okay, well, I mean, that works for me. Do we have any other topics in the college sports corner?
You know what? There wasn't one before it, apparently.
So
it just kind of started in 2000.
They just created it.
Right.
Genius. All right, we got a lot of people hitting us up via the Ocean Reef Resort text line. I need to get to some of these. And I apologize to everybody. I've been so busy working on Lowell's headphones, which I think I'm going to put it on the desk of the engineers and see if they can fix it.
DNR, Swanee. Do not resuscitate. Those headphones are dead.
Positive Mike says the Boo Birds are the bandwagon fans. That could be something, You're new to the game. You've just joined up because Clemson won the Natty, and then you go into the game and they're not playing good. Clemson Craig talking about my speed. I mentioned this yesterday. He says the difference, Swanee, is the only way you could run as fast as Mr. Etienne is if Mrs. Swan was mad and chasing you. That's probably fair. TJ via the Ocean Reef Resort text line says, Lawman, to those knuckleheads that are stupid enough to boo, go to Columbia and watch your games. Most of what was happening was Boston College. Yeah, the turnovers didn't help. Have those people go look back since they joined the conference. They would make you earn every inch and every game's a slugfest. Wow, booing, seriously? That comes to us from TJ. Let's see. Any other Orange Jack wants to know if I'm going to Blacksburg this weekend. No, but our lead writer, Sanders Sullivan, will be covering the game.
I did have one more college sports corner topic.
Well, okay.
By the way. And this one's actually really cool. UAB is hosting Louisiana Tech on October 7th. And the players are going to forego wearing their names on the back of their jerseys in favor of patients at a local children's hospital. The move is meant to honor the children and their families served by Children's Harbor, which is located 1 block from UAB's campus, and it helps seriously ill patients and their families during and after hospitalization. During the game, which coincides with UAB's homecoming, a section of Legion Field will be filled with Children's Harbor's families, and 100 game jerseys will be given to patients and their families after the game.
Incredible. And from a program that was shut down just a couple of years ago. So good for them, man. That's awesome. That may be the best story I've heard. When is that, did you say?
October the 7th.
Man, please. That should be on ESPN. That game should be like the game that everybody – it should be the ABC primetime game.
College game day?
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to go to New York City? You ought to be there. That's a good story. I do have one final text message via the Ocean Reef Resort text line. It comes to us from Boozer. Earlier in the show, we kind of joked, if Clemson's caught up in this scandal in college basketball, that Brad Brownell should cheat harder because we're not doing very good. Boozer says, what if we get Zion? Would you think Brownell's cheating harder? Valid point, I guess.
The money's being a little more well spent, I think.
Valid point, I guess. So, Lowell, I don't know what we'll come to tomorrow in terms of the scandal. I do know the show will be broadcasting in multiple markets for the first time in its history, as Clemson Sports Talk will debut in the Grand Strand on Fox Sports Radio 101.9 at 1050 a.m. It's going to take some adjusting. Of course, I don't think those stations have a streaming capability, but those people can listen on iHeart Radio on Fox Sports Radio 1400. I don't know how this adjustment is going to go. I'm anxious. I pledge not to work on headsets to those listeners over in Myrtle Beach during the show. I will give my all to you.
What are you saying about your Columbia market?
Well, I'm saying today you got me preoccupied with your headsets.
I think it's your fault.
I think I'm going to throw them away. Do not resuscitate.
R.I.P. in pieces.
Lowell, until tomorrow in Columbia and for the first time ever in Myrtle Beach.
Let's do it.
In Conway. I'm Lawton Swan. As always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan. With quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
Hey everyone, this is Ray.
And Marianne from Absolute Glass, your local high-end auto glass specialist in the Midlands.
You can be confident if the high-end car dealers trust us to get the job done right, you can too.
Visit AbsoluteGlassInc.com for all your auto, home, and business